So I was just going to take a quick look at Ethereum as well. There's a couple of things I've been watching with Ethereum. One is, let's go to a bigger, let's go to a 4 hour time frame with Ethereum. It's probably going to look a little bit messy. And I should really pull up a wick off accumulation chart. I'm going to see if I can do that. So I'm going to add a window. And I'm going to search for wick off accumulation. On that. And then we're going to click on this image here because this is what we are. This is what we're looking to see. We've got 5 phases, and it's an accumulation pattern that's been used for over 100 years. It's backed up by lots of data. So we've seen a big crash. We've had a bounce at a support level where there's been a lot of buy orders placed because people have foreseen it or just have looked at the market and thought, right, if I'm going to buy back in or if I'm going to buy into it, I'm going to buy at this level. We've had a bounce with all of the orders being triggered, and then we've hit resistance again, pushed back down, and then we've consolidated in this phase here for a period of time. We've then had a second test. Well, we've had a second test here, but it can happen anywhere along this phase. And then we've had a last big dump, and we've found more support here, and we started to trend back upwards. And that pattern, if you can kind of keep it in your head, is sort of what we're seeing happening with Ethereum at the moment. We've seen this big dump down to here, a big wick where lots of buy-in orders have been triggered. We've pushed back up, we've hit resistance again, and then we've trended in this range. We've come down for a second test, and then we've had a final big dump, and we're looking at this being our spring. This is a hypothesis. There's no guarantee it's going to play out, but that's kind of the longer term thing that I've been looking at. On a shorter term basis, what we currently have with Ethereum is, if I close that, is we've got this another descending wedge, and you can see that kind of wick off accumulation is sitting within this wedge at the moment, and it goes back to the 21st of October where we've really started to form it, and we are heading back down. We've hit the resistance once here, once here, once here. This, I believe, was the Kazakhstan news, which caused the big dump the other day. This, I believe, was the China ban on buying and holding Bitcoin actually in China, as opposed to the ban in May last year, which was the banning of mining. So when the banning of mining happened, a lot of the Chinese miners moved into Kazakhstan, and just about here is where there was a lot of violence, upheaval and uprising against the government in Kazakhstan, and the government decided to switch the internet off. Now 20% of Bitcoin mining is now done in Kazakhstan, and with no internet, the world lost 20% of the Bitcoin mining capability, hence this big dump. So we come down, we found support, and the interesting thing is, if you look at it from a long-term perspective, and just a purely technical analysis point of view, all of these news events happen at a point of technical resistance anyway. So we were trending within this range, kind of up to here, right back down, actually over here, then back up to here. Then we've had, we've hit a level of resistance. We've had some news. We've pushed down. We've had some more. This was the Fed news up here, the tapering news, which pushed the market down. We've then had the Kazakhstan news here, which pushed the market down even further. But both at levels where you were expecting a rejection anyway. So we then pushed back down, found our support back down here, which is now 1 times, 2 times, 3 times support, and we are now pushing back up towards this level of around about 3,550. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dump all the drawings that I've just put on here, and what we're looking for is another indicator which is telling us that we might be about to see some resistance hit here. So again, we're going to pull out the fib retracement level, and we're going to go from the top of this wedge here around about this level, pull it down to the bottom. Again, we'll go to the area of convergence on the resistance line, as opposed to taking the wick into account. And this white line here is part of the fib tool, so this descending yellow line is our current resistance range that we're in. So what we're looking at the moment is we're looking at Ethereum trending upwards towards, first of all, the 0.236 level, where we might see some resistance. However, the 200 EMA is all the way up here, and it's heading towards the 0.382 level again. So we might see a rejection off of this and come back down. If there's enough volume and support, we might push through and then start testing this area, which funnily enough converges with this yellow line here. And if we look back on a much bigger scale, you will see that this yellow line, so this is May last year when we hit the first all-time high. This is our second attempt when we came out of this cup and handle pattern recovery. We then pushed back down into this wick off accumulation period. You can see an inverse head and shoulders as well in here, and we've pushed back up. We've broken through it here on the third attempt, and we've reached our new all-time high. We've then come back down, we've retested it here, and then we've tested it here, and we've broken it, which has taken us down to the level that we're at the moment. So what we're looking to see now is a retest of this long-term support resistance trend, which has been kind of respected right the way through the last 8 or 9 months. So this would be a good area for you to start. Again, if you bought Ethereum down here, or if you hold Ethereum and you want to accumulate some more, you might think about selling a percentage of it here, expecting a rejection, and then buying back in more towards the bottom of this descending wedge, which we're kind of, I guess we're 2/3 of the way through now, which is an area where you can expect to see us break out. So again, looking at the RSI indicator, we're around the 60-58 level, so we're somewhere hovering around the kind of middle area. It's not a bad area for Ethereum. We currently have a bullish divergence here as well, which is playing out. So we've got the price action going down here, and we've got the buying sentiment going up, which tends to be bullish and tends to, I mean, it's kind of already played out, but in time, if we expect it to come back down here, it could well come back down and hit again and really start to push us trending in this direction for a longer period of time, which would give us an uptrend. A lot of information, but essentially what we're saying is Ethereum's currently in this descending wedge, possibly a wick off accumulation pattern. We've hit the lower support again. We've had a good bounce. We're heading towards our 0.236 and our 0.382 levels. We have some confluence at this kind of range around the 0.382, where we may expect to see a breakout or a rejection if we're just going to continue in the downtrend. And really, those are the levels to watch at the moment. So the kind of 3,550 level on Ethereum and the 3,400 levels are the levels to keep an eye on and make decisions around. Just to say, this is not financial advice. I'm one of you. I am a holder. I don't leverage trade, and I am not qualified in any way, shape, or form to give you advice. This is just for educational purposes only. Cool. That's all I've got for you today.